Hey guys, so I wanted to make a stream about this. I know my MacBook fan is going crazy. That just tells me that I need to get a newer MacBook because this MacBook is obviously very, very outdated. Either that or I get a better microphone and that way you guys can't hear this shh kind of thing. So I wanted to just share this thing with you. It's called Josh paper. So for funeral preparations, my family always burns this kind of stuff. So what this is these are like squares of paper. And what you do is that you see it, so it's just a regular square paper. It has usually has like a some kind of gold foil or silver foil in it. And you fold it so it looks like a gold ingot. So what a gold ingot is this. See it looks kind of like this thing over here, kind of U shape. See? I don't know if you guys can tell. So it's kind of U shape. Oh, here we go. This. So it's kind of like a U shape. So what you do is that you get that gold flat piece of paper and you fold it so it looks more like the ingot. See? So I was very busy folding this stuff, and I remember Lewis gave me a call a few times and I was like, hold up, I can't talk right now, I'm folding these little gold ingots. And yeah, so we made a whole bunch of them and gotta burn them all because yeah, the whole idea behind this stuff is that you fold these papers and you burn them and it gets sent over to the afterlife, so your loved ones have currency. So I'm guessing it shows up as paper and then maybe in the afterlife it comes off as gold. I don't know. And then not only that, right? You can also send them things like phones. See, you can send them phones, you can send them Listerine in the afterlife, some dentures, fake iPad over here, food. This is all generic stuff. I've seen a Nokia over here as well. It's all like a tradition thing. See, so all this like this looks very cheap. I know it looks very cheap. And so you got glasses, a pen. And I don't know how the quality is because I figure you got people who are living in this world. They're not going to want some kind of generic looking phone, but maybe in the afterlife it turns into an iPhone? I don't know. You can also send over clothes. See, paper clothes. And then you can send over servants. So I'm assuming this is a pretty tall servant. And you also got a chair and all this stuff. I've never come across one of those big paper servants, but usually what you do is you can burn a little cardboard house, you can burn a cardboard a car, and look at this. See you can burn a paper car. And again, the idea is that you burn this stuff, it goes off into the afterlife, and your relative has a paper car. So the Chinese really do keep their ancestors in mind. So see, you got Hennessy over here. I mean, you could send anything over there, but this is some generic looking Hennessy. I don't know how it will be in the afterlife because let's say it does work out. Do I think my relatives really want to have Colgate's toothpaste, fake Listerine? I don't think so. And I imagine the afterlife, they're going to say, wow, look, my relatives sent me some flossing pics over there because they really cared about me making sure I don't have a plaque in my teeth. Who knows? So this is a car. Notice we got some servants over here because that's the way to go. If you are sending over a car, they got to have a servant for them. They got to have a driver. And let me click on this. See? What is this? Oh, look, they also what did they do? So that people can send over paper rice cookers, gas canisters, washing machines, all that stuff. They've also found over paper the paper versions of that. Oh my gosh. So all this stuff. Yeah, so they send paper wheelchair. I mean, my family doesn't go all that out, okay? But yeah, you can send everything over there. See, paper fruit basket over here, right? You wanna send that to your relative, you can send that over. And yeah, so see, this is one of those stores. So you can send over a paper Lambo, I'm assuming, and then paper mahjong set, paper camera set, paper watch. I guess that's supposed to be a Rolex. Yeah, it looks like a submariner of sorts. And all this stuff. See, more golden coins over here. You can send big money over here. 800 trillion. Yeah, $800 trillion. Now I was speaking. Oh, here we go. See, so sometimes if you go to Chinatown, you will see this kind of stuff. Where if you go in like the back sections of some of these stores, you will see that you got like stacks of paper money. Of course, you got incense, and it's like you just got to be prepared, kind of thing. So, I was talking earlier in my stream, and I know it got cut off, but I thought, man, I feel like it's very important for people whose family believes in this stuff or does this kind of stuff. So this is the kind of ingots that I've been folding. Fold. And yeah, the more you send over, it seems to be the better. I did ask one of my relatives yesterday. I said, wait a second, well, what about inflation? Because I know we're sending boatloads of this stuff over to the afterlife, but I don't want, relative ending up like Zimbabwe dollar over there. I'm just gonna be real here. Like, inflation. Inflation is definitely maybe something going on in the afterlife. Because my family, we're not that big, right? But if we had like a legion, right, of people folding these gold ingots, buying things like planes and not Nokia phones, iPhones and laptops and all this stuff. I just wonder, like, at some point, isn't it gonna be that maybe all the work that we're putting in is only worth $5 worth of stuff? I don't know. So yeah, all this stuff. So let me say, Chinese jaws. So see, you got your play over there. Oh crap. Yeah. See, so these Chinese houses. You can see these houses have servants in them because you don't want to just send over a paper house. You want to send the servants with them. So you can not only just send over a house, you can send them over, of course, nicer houses, bigger houses, and again, send some life-size servants over there. I don't know why the face is pink. I mean, it's a little creepy because. Yeah, I think it's a little creepy. And then send boatloads of money over there. See this stuff? So, some people, they send... Oh, look, you can even send over a shopping mall or a apartment over there. I don't know how this works. I mean, this all looks like some, like... I'm gonna be real here, but I kind of worry, like, when I see something like this, like, I just think, like, this already looks kind of shoddy. How are any of these houses going to be in the afterlife if they are sent over? Like, does my family member really need a gym that big? Does my family member really need I don't know. This actually sounds pretty good. Look, $34.99 mansion villa. So you got a pool over there. You got a yard over there. I mean, that's pretty cheap. So if someone had like a lot of space in their house. And I don't want to sound morbid, but they figure someone will die within the next 10 years and you had an extra room. I would just stock up on buying all this AliExpress houses and servants and folding all the gold ingots. See the gold ingots on the bottom? See all that paper money? See that? So you burn all of it. You burn it all and then you send it over to the afterlife. And that way, when your relative passes away, your family doesn't have to think too much about making all this stuff. It's like, okay, I'm going to clean out the storage unit. I got all this stuff. We're going to burn it all. And yeah, so you got, of course, the car over here. Kind of wonky looking car. But look, you got the driver in there too. So you got your car, you got your driver. And yeah, they tend to go kind of all out for some people. And see, you can burn a paper dog over here, send over a pet. You can also send over things like Chinese tiger balm, Chinese medicinal stuff, in case your relative gets a paper cut in the afterlife. You can send over some band-aids. And yeah, I saw dentures. I don't know if I showed you guys that, but they also had dentures that you could send over to the afterlife. Some fake iPhone. I could, send over some helicopter. But it has a servant in there, so my ancestors could fly around using a helicopter. And you can send over paper cigarettes. You see, it's like anything you can think of, they can do it. They can make a paper version of it. Look, if you have a dog that you sent over to the afterlife, you can send over your paper dog with your paper dog food over there. See, so it gets to a point where you can, if we're sending over band-aids and Chinese Listerine and dogs and servants, it just can get really, really out of hand. See, so in case you know a person who really loves their Nokia phones, you can send them a bunch of Nokia phones. See that? I mean, these are some pretty generic looking wonky phones, and if they look the same in the afterlife, like I know my family members are not going to want that crappy looking phone. You can send them some bird cages over there. You can send them jewelry over here, some jade fake diamond paper jewelry. You can also send them, yeah, you can send them a whole bunch of stuff. You can send them paper buildings, so they have their own villa of sorts. It looks a little rough. Yeah, I like the other one better, but you guys get the idea, okay? I could spend all day showing you about this stuff. Look at this. Gucci warns Hong Kong shop on paper fake. So you can actually, I guess some people put the Gucci fake Gucci stuff. Oh well, hell with it. It's tradition. So China realizes that this goes hand in hand with materialism, right? And some people can go overboard because they say, I want to make sure I'm going to spend $500 on all this paper stuff and basically send over Costco to my loved ones. And what China has done is they say, hey, we're going to ban this stuff, right? So they say that because you're burning all this paper and plastic and whatnot, it causes a lot of pollution. But the thing is that people get mad about it because they're saying, wait a second, we've historically done this for years and years and years, and oh crap, I gotta damn this stuff. And they don't want to stop doing this because this is the way that they feel like they're helping out their ancestors, and they feel like this is how they're paying their respects, making sure that their ancestors always have a lot of money. But yeah, again, some people can go overboard on this stuff. It's very, very easy. See? So commonly observed across the country is the act of setting joss paper alight during funerals is regarded as a spiritual medium through which Chinese people communicate with their beloved. So you send all this cash over here. I've never seen anyone in my family burn this stuff. We've always been folding like things like gold ingots. But yeah, I mean, I could send over a whole bunch of cash if I wanted to. But again, I worry about inflation because, yeah, you burn all this stuff and then everybody else has the same amount of money. It's maybe $2 worth of stuff in the afterlife. Who knows? So, yeah, so people who believe in traditional culture, or they want to respect tradition, they don't want to stop doing that. I get it. I completely get it, right? And then some urban areas, right, they ban firecrackers, and I'm like, screw that. I love my firecrackers. Like, we don't burn that many of them, but you burn a little bit. And see, so you take the Josh paper issue, for example. People believe it's the money the dead use for the other world. They'll burn it at night anyway, if not the day, because it's something supported by belief. So yeah, even if you ban it, people are still going to buy it. And I kind of wonder if they do ban it, if it's just going to encourage people to stockpile. Like, I have $1,000, I'm going to buy as much Josh paper as I can before the Chinese government comes in. And then you secretly burn it, right? Kind of thing. So, yeah. Some people think it's outdated. Other people think it's a fire hazard. For me, personally, I don't have anything against burning the Jaws paper. I think that even just the act of family members folding this stuff, it shows that the family really cares. It shows that, they want to make sure that their loved one is taken care of in the afterlife. And And every year, if you're burning some Josh paper or something like that, like, who cares? Like, nobody will care. It's like, this is the way you remember, you honor your ancestors. And you say, yeah, okay, here's some money. But yeah, part of me wonders like how this manifests into the other world, because I do believe in the afterlife. I've said that multiple times before. But in terms of all this paper stuff, like if I had to think about my dear uncle, and if we were to burn all this like apartment buildings and let's say manifest it, he'd be like, what the hell is this wonky ass building over here? It's like, oh, that's your property. So what the hell am I gonna do with this? This doesn't look safe. Like, I can imagine my uncle saying something like that based on look some of this like shoddy looking construction here. Look at that. So you can get your loved ones a hotel. I don't see enough servants here. I see 1-2 servants, but that's about it. And then you can just sit in all this stuff. See, this is nice. This is a really nice one. I think that looks great. But yeah, I wonder like if I don't know how this goes, but I wonder like if you sent 2 mansions every year to your loved ones, right? Like they end up with like basically like a ton of real estate or so. And how do they manage it? Do the servants just self-manage it themselves? Do the servants look pleasant, or do they look kind of creepy? I just had to put it out there. I'm sure there's some rich Chinese person who says, my loved one passed away, let's burn 30 servants for my relative who passed away, and let me make sure that we send over basically a small terracotta army onto the other side. I mean, you can tell. Even, you remember that one guy who got buried, the terracotta soldiers? Let me show you guys this one. Soldiers. Remember this guy? This guy? See, this guy, like, he was hardcore. Look at that. He had all these terracotta soldiers. He was like, yeah, I'm not going to deal with the paper money stuff. I'm going to have an army with me into the afterlife. And that's hardcore, okay? So this is like the ultimate thing that you send off to the afterlife. They didn't burn it, but I don't know how that worked. Maybe they thought if you bury it, that's good enough. Who knows? But that's a lot of freaking work. And look at all this. Look at that. So I imagine there must be some rich millionaire over there who maybe bought 200 servants for their one deceased relative, and they say, we can never have enough servants, let's send over a helicopter, let's send over this, let's send over that, let's send over basically Costco every year. And Chinese government sees that and they just think like, nope. See, so here's a glimpse inside of one of these paper houses. You got your MacBook. See, this is how you know it's a luxury house. You got your MacBook over there. You got your, I imagine this is all silk stuff. And yeah, you got your silk bedding. You got your sheets. You got all this stuff, and you got your plants. I guess that's your plants. I don't know. I can't tell the terrio view. You got your phone over there. You got, I don't know what those 2 TVs, 3 TVs, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like, it looks a little gaudy, but notice it's supposed to be pretty comfortable. I'm not a big fan of the bedding. You see that yellow part? It looks kind of weird, but I'm more of a fan of, let's just say, white and gold and silver, and that's it. But yeah, some of these things, they say more colors, more better, and I think it just goes on that way. You can send your relative. I mean, this looks like some wonky ass construction. This looks like freaking Happy Meal, okay? But you see, you got your generic Lambo over here. And again, you got your glasses. I don't know why the glasses are like so much bigger than the watch. But I don't know about you guys, but my relatives don't have big heads and tiny wrists. But yeah, see, the scale's a little off. And yeah, this house on the side, this green and pink, like, oh lordy, that looks like an eyesore. I would not want to send that over to my relative. They'd probably be like, what the hell, Erica? This is some cheap stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry, they all look kind of cheap. It doesn't look very expensive, some of these. But yeah, I would suggest like buy this stuff off AliExpress if you can, and just keep it in storage, and that way you get much better selection than maybe your local Chinese grocery store place. Let's see this. Look at the big house. Big house, big boats. I've never seen anyone burn these kind of big, large scale, but I'm sure someone has out there. And then all this stuff, all this stuff. So this is Chinese beliefs over here, traditional stuff. Send it over to your ancestors. I think every year people do this. I haven't really been keeping too much touch about this, but I do know there's like offering days where you go back to the grave and then you burn more stuff, and then yeah, throughout the year, or every so often, yeah, just send more offerings over to the afterlife. So yeah, every time I see this, it's like I understand why people do this stuff. It's because they love their relatives so much and they really want to see them taken care of in the afterlife. But the other part of me thinks, like, if this actually doesn't come into fruition and we're burning all these like McDonald looking houses, McDonald Happy Meal looking houses, the relatives must be like, oh lordy, she's spending money just to burn this stuff and I'm not even getting it, right? You see? Like, so it's hard to say. I don't know how this works, but yeah, this just Josh paper. Again, I know I'm repeating myself, but if you are Chinese, I would suggest have some Josh paper on standby, because if you know a relative passed away, I would say next day or something, start folding your Josh paper, because that way you don't have to like think about time crunch, right? They pass away, it's like you already know you're gonna have to go through this traditional rites sort of thing. Fold, 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 you know? Fold, 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 fold. I feel like you can never have too much. That's just my personal thought. And then that way you can also be prepared, and you can make sure that when the day comes, everything looks nice, you're not stressed out, and you prepare this stuff in advance. See? So let's say Josh paper gifts. So I might actually, I mean, like, I had to ask around about that, but I kind of want to just like buy some paper money, and it's like keep it on standby. And yeah, if I know someone passed away, it's like, okay, fold, 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 fold. So I'm not too sure why this one, they just kept it. Some of these don't look like they're even folded. So I'm always used to folding it. See that? So there's different ways of folding it. But look at that. Look how pretty that looks. Doesn't that look nice? It's like these big firecracker things. And then, I don't know how they come up with their currency. So you got some no-name currency, hell money over here. Another kind of currency. Kind of reminds me of cryptocurrency. Like, anything frickin' goes. And then you got these, like, golden blocks of sorts. And then, yeah. See, then now you got your luxury watches, your cars. This stuff. Your switches. Your dogs, your beer, your dentures, your toothbrush. If you want to be a revolutionary, you can have your grenades over here. I don't know why my relatives gonna need a grenade. I want to say, like, I want to add in, like, security cameras in there. See, so people just throw it into the fire. See that? Now I kind of want to see if there's any, like, oh, here we go, see? So this is what, like, my family does. You make all these little, see these little tube things, and then you compile it together, and then you burn it off into the afterlife. So I kind of just rather go with that route and just burn a whole bunch of them, and then maybe in the hopes that in the future my relative can just buy their own laptop, because, like, look at this freaking laptop, you guys, like, if you burn something like this and it goes into the afterlife, I guarantee you my relative ain't gonna want to use this. They're gonna be like, what the hell is this, Erica? It's like, this looks like some, like, AliExpress stuff. Again, I'm being mindful about that. So if they had, oh look, here we go. Look at this, iPhone E. See, this is an iPhone E5. So you got all this stuff, and I don't know how that works. I don't know if my relative is really gonna want an iPhone E. iPhone E over there. See? So this one, they be mindful. They got the cardboard charger over there. They got the little cord over there. iPhone 4, I imagine, right? So there is materialism that goes on. And then you also, if they want to shave, you can send over some generic shaver, some generic shaving cream, some generic batteries. See? Everything you can imagine sending over. Look, you can even send them over a freaking mermaid servant. I don't know why you're gonna send a mermaid servant over there. I don't know what the mermaid servant will do. Maybe they'll clean your pool, but it's kind of weird. You know, it's pretty weird. I don't know why I would ever get a mermaid servant. And then you got your Chanel bag and your Gucci shoes and yeah, I mean, like, look at this. It's not even Chanel. It's like Gunnell or something. See that? It's not even CC. So I don't even know why I would be sending that over to my relative. Because they'd be like, I don't want this Chinese fake stuff. It's like, oh, it's the best I can do. Trademark. And then what else you got over here? Yeah, so here's your Apple set over here. I don't know why you got this shoddy MP3 player on the far right, but you do have. You got your SD card over there, 32 gigs. I don't know why they don't have one trillion gig or whatever, but 32 gigs is kind of small. And yeah, and then you can send over cake. Yeah, cake is good too. And yeah, so Josh paper gift, paper funeral paper gifts. Let's see this. See? So a lot of this stuff, oh, see, you can set a yacht. See, I could buy a yacht like this whole, look how big this setup, you guys. Like, some millionaire must be buying this kind of paper thing. This is the time where it's like it would be pay off to be one of those like architects or something who do those like house scale models and just burn your scale models for that sort of thing. So you can do that. You can send them a big house. You can send them a flat screen TV. You can send them a altar. All this stuff. Oh, look at these servants. These, I don't know if that's a servant. Some person who's Chinese is going to yell at me for that. And then you can send them a massage chair. See, massage chair over here, paper massage chair. And you can send them. What else can you send them? Yeah, there's your generic stuff. So Gucci warns Hong Kong paper. So Gucci got pissed off that people wanted to buy like generic Gucci stuff, paper generic Gucci stuff for the funeral. I don't know why. It's a compliment, if anything. So all this stuff, right? All this stuff. Funeral goods. I mean, this is a big business, you guys. Like, don't underestimate it. Because when people want to send things off to the afterlife, they are gonna say, I'm gonna buy this and this and this and this. Of course, there's a helicopter. You can send over I'm sure some paper Godiva over there if you really wanted to. More currency. Yeah, you guys get the idea over here. So all this stuff, just wanted to share with you guys, and I'm gonna read chat really quickly. But I highly recommend check and see how this thing. Check like your local Asian store. Like if you go to a Chinatown, and you'll see all this stuff in person. Let's see over here. Paper mache. I don't know. I imagine, like, I don't know how the afterlife is, right? I don't know how this thing works. But I imagine my relatives, if I was sending them over this stuff, I imagine after a while they're going to get pissed off. Because they're going to be like, what the hell are we going to do with all this, like, wonky looking house, Erica? What are we going to do with this, like, creepy looking servant? And at some point, like, if I was on the afterlife and I had some creepy looking servant, I'd be like, you know what? I don't want to be your master or whatnot. Just go off or something. Like you look a little creepy. Yeah, so I don't know how I feel about those pink face servants, because imagine a human being with a pink face saying like, I'm your servant, right? That's kind of creepy. Just a little creepy, right? Like, this is like kind of like stuff on horror movie kind of thing. That's just me. I'd rather have them like regular color face, not pink, but maybe there's some symbolism behind the pink that I'm not aware of. Wow, look at this guy trying to sell this Guan paper note, 1368, 120. Why the hell is this guy trying to sell this on eBay for $120,000? Some guy's gonna file a I did not receive claim on that stuff. So see. So all this stuff, let's see. Let's look at the Daily Mail. See, so now people are doing gadgets. I mean, I've known about this for a while, for years. See? See, so someone is walking around, you see? So this woman, or this guy over here is bringing, I think he bought the house, so it has to go to a funeral or some sort of offering. See, and then you got your MacBook over here. Crappy computer. Windows, Microsoft computer, I don't know. This stuff. Bicycle. Massage chairs. And Emperor throne. And then you also can send over a Chinese passport. I'm sorry, you guys. Like Chinese passport with Chinese MasterCard and Chinese this. I don't know about that. You got a tea set over here. Wax some seafood. You can send over some seafood on there. I don't know about this. This is not stuff I want to eat. I mean, it looks kind of weird. And then you got, of course, your house with your 2 servants, right? Beautiful. I guess this is beautiful women servants too, and not any of the creepy looking servants we saw earlier. So all this stuff. And people buy it because they really love their family members when it comes down to it. So let me read chat really quick. Yeah. Do you have to buy it, or can you make? You can make it yourself, but I don't know how that works, right? I mean, I can print out like all this. I can print out stuff, but I don't know if I think it has to be 3D. I think, like, see, even these chairs, you see how it's 3D? I don't think it's just me printing out a picture of a chair. Yeah, so like I said, I don't know if this is actually legit or not. I don't know how this goes into the afterlife. I don't know about inflation, obviously, but I understand why people don't want to stop doing this kind of stuff. I would say, right, the most important thing, I think a lot of the other stuff would be like the house, the car, maybe. And other than that, you can always have a healthy supply of the Josh paper. See, so when you buy them, right, you fold them like this, but when you get them, they're actually just a stack of paper. So it's actually pretty quick to fold this stuff, and it doesn't take up too much space. Maybe this is like 4 inches by 4 inches by 4 inches. So if you wanted to, right, if you knew someone passed away, you can instantly go over and buy some and just instantly start folding it. Just fold it throughout the day, and the next thing you know, in like a couple weeks, you have a mountain of this stuff. And yeah, so yeah. So I think it's good to be folding this stuff. But the other stuff, you see, like these things, the iPhones, the iPads, the shirts, I don't think you need to get this. And the reason why I feel that way is because if you're getting burnt a lot of this gold stuff anyway, I would think, and this is just my opinion, I kind of think that if we did want to run with the whole idea of like you burn this stuff and your ancestors are provided, your ancestors could buy this, they could buy the iPhone or whatnot with their own money using these little gold ingots. But I don't know. Then it turns into a race of, you know, how much ingots does a deceased family member have, and maybe you burn them 3 bags and you think that's enough, and then you find out some other person burned 20 bags for their family member, or 50 bags, or 100 bags, and yeah, yeah. So all that stuff, it adds up, and I wouldn't be surprised out there if there's a family member out there who says, yeah, we really love our relative. We will burn at least 50 bags total of Josh paper just for our relative, and then 50 more bags for all our relatives every year. That's a lot of freaking space, 50 bags. Like 50, can you imagine like 50 13 gallon, 13, no, like 50, imagine 50 contractor size of Josh paper, of these little gold ingots getting burned. I actually just think you need to have 2 of them. That's good enough. But yeah, some people, they go overboard and then just be burning. Like, wake up, burn, burn, burn. I wouldn't be surprised if there's people out there who spend all year for their hobby just folding these papers, and then they wait until, you know, that the time at what's it called, it, the Ancestors Day or something like that in April, and then they bring like huge amounts of Josh paper just to burn for their relatives. I would not be surprised about it. Like if they said, okay, each person in the family has to make at least 5 bags of this stuff for the relatives, and you got 1 whole year to do it. And then, yeah, so they keep it on standby, and then afterwards, right, if you got like 20 family members, each person did 5 bags, then you had up with 100 bags of Josh paper. Yeah. So that's a lot of freaking paper. A lot of freaking paper. But I actually don't think it's a bad idea, right? You have each person maybe not burn 5 bags, but like 2 bags. If they really wanted to, they could probably get it done within 2 weeks. 2-3 weeks for sure. And then afterwards, afterwards it's like that's the way they pay respects. And it's not just pay respect, but it's also remember their ancestors. Because I think sometimes people lose touch with the past. And it's a good way to stay grounded. Just the act of folding this stuff, you have to be mindful about it, right? Every time you do it, you always think like, okay, this is me showing appreciation for the past, because without our ancestors, we wouldn't have been born. And life back then was a lot tougher than it is now. I'm just gonna be real here, right? Because like now we have like more. We don't have to worry about, let's say, too much things like shoddy building construction as much. We don't have to worry about, like, say, threat of famine as much, at least in a first world country. So there is like social services. We have healthcare. Not everybody, but at least in a first world country we do. So I'm gonna get going. It is 7:13, so I've been streaming for I think about an hour today or so, and yeah, a little over an hour. I think this is good enough for streaming, and yeah, you guys take care. Let me know what your thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts about this kind of stuff is. Let me know if you guys do this stuff as well for in your family. It's not just the Chinese. I hear the Vietnamese do this too. So it's not just, yeah. There's other Asian cultures that believe in this stuff, but ultimately it deeply roots with remembering the past, right? Remembering relatives and showing respect to the ancestors. And I think this is one of those things where it's very important that we remember and we show appreciation to people in the past. A lot of this stuff, right, like I don't think my relatives really do need all this like knickknacks of sorts, but I imagine just burning the paper thing, even if it doesn't manifest over to their their realm, at least they know that their surviving family members on this side of the world still love them and still care about them and still think about them and still wish the best for them, for sure. Yeah, so all this kind of Josh paper, yeah, this is what I've been busy doing. Yeah, I want to figure out how to make these like Josh paper pineapples. Those all look pretty cool. I think that looks so nice. I think you just buy them though. See? And then they just burn it all. Oh, what is this? Doctors warn against burning of Josh paper. Let's see this really quick. What are they going to tell about? Fumes? Hazardous emissions. Okay. Oh, wow, look at that. Worsen air quality. High amounts of carcinogens. Yeah, so the way we do this stuff is like you burn this stuff and then you just like toss it into the fire and you walk away kind of thing. It's not like you stay in front of it. See? Look at this funeral Josh paper. Doesn't that look pretty? I think that looks so pretty. And then you can fold it all pretty too. You know, now that I think about it, as silly as it seems, I think it's better to just spend more money on this Josh paper stuff than actual flowers. Part of me kind of feels that way. You know, when you have a funeral? Because the flowers are pretty damn expensive for a funeral, and if you believe that this stuff is going to go directly to your ancestors, better to spend more money on this Josh paper stuff and more time on this than spend money for flowers. Just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. But then the only problem is that if you do it that way, you know, when you look at a grave, you know how the grave has all the flowers on top? Yeah, I'll have less flowers, so hard to say. Really hard to say. Oh, well, I'm probably thinking too much into it, yeah. Give some funeral. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, people can make money off of it, right? So before it was just really these plain Josh papers, and then afterwards people are saying, like, hey, let me make some Gucci shoes for your relatives, and let me do this, and let me do this. So even something that is traditional, like this paper money, it can fall into the trap of consumerism. Yeah, see that? I don't know how much these things are. They're pretty cheap. Is it really only $2 a stack? Damn. $2 US? Maybe it's like $5 US. But still, that's super cheap if so. But that's a morbid hobby. Like, I imagine if I was to be folding this year-round or something, I imagine, like, family members would be like, what the hell, Erica? This is kind of creepy. Like, why are you folding, like, things? Are you expecting someone to die soon? And I just want to be like, well, you know, I figure might as well be prepared. That kind of stuff. Get a head start. But that's really morbid if you think about it that way. But at the end of it, it's like, yeah, if you don't wanna hyper focus on that stuff, at least you got your arsenal of Josh papers that you can reflect back. But this is supposed to be ghost money, so part of me wonders too, like, if you keep this stuff around too long, like, does that mean you invite more ghosts over to your treasure trove? Like, if you had like 10 big bags of this stuff, if the ghosts are going to be floating around, who knows? But I am sure there's at least one. Oh, let me see, Josh. Let's see it. Yeah, see? So people put them inside of these bags. Oh, look, you can even get the pre-folded ones. Look at that. It doesn't take very long to fold these things, though. But I guess if you're visiting or something and you don't want to carry this stuff with you, who knows? Oh my god, look, it's Josh paper mask. You know the situation? Yeah, they actually have masks that you can burn over to the afterlife. Oh, that's ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. Yeah, so usually when you burn these things, like, you can put them inside of plastic bags, but there's actually supposed to, if I remember correctly, there's this bag with like the 3 Chinese deities on it that you're supposed to put it inside. Not just plastic bag.